Bibbidi bobbidi. That's the wrong movie, isn't it? Not talking about that movie at all.
We're not talking about a movie, period.
I know, but the theme. Welcome back to It's a Small Disney Podcast. I'm Eric. Across from me is my beauty.
Your princess.
Your princess. My
Your
princess. My princess. April. We are back for another episode. We hope you've been enjoying our show.
April is such a non-princess name.
Go through the princess names. There's some Belle.
Belle?
That's
It's
pretty
beautiful. Plain. Cinderella. Aurora.
Ariel.
I know. April.
Jasmine. And April.
No.
It fits.
No, it doesn't.
Leia.
Yeah, okay, I guess. I don't think of that, but.
Anna. Elsa. Come on, those are old people names right there. Anna and Elsa.
I know, that's why they fit. But April?
When you go to Disney World, you're a princess.
Oh.
Do they call you princess when they let you in line and stuff like they do the little kids?
They have called me princess before.
Ooh.
I won't lie. It feels a little awkward, but not enough to where
You're just enough of a Disney adult not to take it too weird.
What are we talking about today?
Well, we're going to talk about a little place called the Enchanted Rose. A tale as old as time. Yeah, we're going to talk about one of our favorite bar lounges.
Lounges.
One of our favorite lounges. One of the places in Disney World that some people don't know about, and I wish they did, and we're going to talk about it.
Okay, well, let's do it then, Mickey.
Gosh, Mickey, we're going to talk about the Enchanted Rose, girl.
God, it's so stupid. I'm so embarrassed. Okay, so what do you think about it? Where is it?
Well, I think we should start by telling people where it's at if they've never been. The Enchanted Rose is located on the top floor of the Grand Floridian. That is on the monorail.
It's on the second floor.
Hop if you're doing resort hopping and you're going to the Grand Floridian. Second floor?
Second floor.
Well, I said the top because when you're on the monorail, you come out on top.
Yeah, but
if you're on the bottom, you got to go to the top.
But they have higher levels than 2 floors.
In the lobby? There's something above it?
Yes.
In the lobby. It's the top part of the lobby where the shops are.
It's the second floor, though, of the resort.
Okay, the top of the lobby, the second floor.
The top of the lobby.
Whatever.
That's such a funny way to describe it.
It's in the Grand Floridian Resort. This is another great place to go. It's not inside a park, so you don't have to have a park ticket. You just have to know when to be there, and hopefully it fits into your schedule when you're maybe resort hopping or if you're staying at the Grand Floridian.
It is American food.
Mm-hmm.
Drinks, small plates. You're not going to go there and have a huge
This
meal.
is a lounge. It's a lounge.
It's filling. It's filling enough.
It's a lounge.
They do take the dining plan.
Mm-hmm.
And it opens at 3:30.
3.
My Disney experience says 3:30.
Did it change to 3:30? I thought it was 3.
Yeah, it's 3:30. Thank you.
Well,
and with serving food starting at 5.
So that's the main thing. Is
no reservations. You just walk up.
You can join the walk-up list on the app. The thing to remember is, like April just said, this is not open till 3:30. 3:30. And then if you want to get the good small plates, appetizers, you got to wait till 5. We'll talk about the food and my favorite dish, and I think yours as well. But it is something you got to plan into your day, assuming you're on a time schedule.
I mean, we usually go on a resort day.
We go on a resort day. We plan it.
It's hard to fit this in when you're doing the parks because you go there, and unless you're there right when they open, it's not a guarantee that you're going to just walk right in kind of thing. Because if they're full, then you'll have to wait. And if you're trying to do the parks and you have lightning lanes and things like that, it's not really the
I would not recommend
most
trying
time
to do this
efficient
in
thing.
between parks unless you just have all the time in the world.
Right. So it opened in 2019 and it replaced a long time local favorite, the Misner. I think it's Misner Lounge, and it was the only place on property with cigars available.
So it was cool.
Yeah, I mean, it's a place that and they had free I don't know if they had it like at the like toward the end, but free bar snacks, like, nuts and things like that.
How many places in Disney give you free stuff?
None.
Well,
and that's why I'm saying I don't know if they did that toward the end of their stay. I don't know if that was more because they opened in 1988, right when the resort opened. So it was a local favorite. It was named after Addison Misner, who is he was a very popular architect in the 1920s, and he was the developer of Boca Raton and things like that. So
you gave me a hard time because I didn't know what Boca Raton was.
Well, if you know the Golden Girls, that's the only reason I know it. But it was just a local favorite. I got on a Reddit thread.
I've read it a lot lately.
It's terrible, but it's interesting. It's entertaining. People were talking about this bar closing. So this was an old thread, but it was just these old farts, and they were just so upset that it was going to close, and you could tell that it was a big time. It just sounded like I envisioned old people going and
got like jackets on and stuff.
Yeah, and people just left the golf course and they're coming in there and having an after dinner drink with cigar kind of situation.
When you talk about it like that, it reminds me of like a Disney villain in like a movie, and like it gets really dark, and like there's this spooky guy smoking a cigar, and like like kind of like somebody's going there like, boss, they're at it again. Those meddling mice.
And he's a cat.
Stuff.
He's a cat, though. He's a huge mob cat boss.
Yeah, like that. Yeah, that's what I think.
But it was replaced and reimagined, rethemed as the Enchanted Rose. Now,
inspired by.
And of course, inspired by Beauty and the Beast. But here's the thing. A lot of people were upset by this because Beauty and the Beast is a French-inspired type of theme, I guess you could say.
Right.
And the Riviera, I don't think was built yet, but was in the works. Okay. So why did they not wait and put the Enchanted Rose in the very fitting Riviera, where it would have more of a French type inspired theme and fit the atmosphere, instead of putting it in a Victorian themed?
Interesting.
Yeah. So a lot of people don't think that it fits the theme, but I have never thought twice about it at all, because I feel like it's a fancy resort and it's a nice fancy, but it's not really fancy, but it's a nice themed classic type of bar. So I felt like it went together because they were both classy and classic. Yes. You know what I mean?
It's very classy. It's very quiet. It's a beautiful little spot. And the Grand Floridian is a beautiful resort.
I think that's what I just thought. It's just, they're both beautiful, so they fit in that aspect. But if you really think about it, it probably would have been better served in the Riviera, where it's, that type of theme. Yeah. But at any rate, it's inspired by Beauty and the Beast, and they have 4 distinct spaces within the bar itself. So I'll go over the first space, you can go over the second, the library. And of course, this room is supposed to pay homage to the Beast Library, and it's beautifully decorated, ornate bookshelves, intricate decor, and you have those subtle references to the film, like
Miss Potts is in there,
right? But
on the shelf,
like the statues,
the rose is in there.
Very beautiful.
It's not like
a lot to see.
It's not like you hear this and it's a Beauty and the Beast themed place. It's very subtle, like you said. It's not like it's not a place you're going to go and you're at be our guest. It's not like that.
Right.
You know, when somebody thinks of Beauty and the Beast
it's
restaurant.
It's not obnoxious, which that's not obnoxious either, but it's not obnoxiously
It's not like I'm going in, there's going to be
themed.
characters and it's going to be bright. It's very just like, it's chill. It's relaxed.
The thing that I like about the library is it's warm. It's very
the seats
intimate.
are cushiony. Yeah. There's couches.
It's very cozy to sit down and have a drink. They have couches. They have random seats, like little tables for seats of 2, or they have couches for a bigger group. And you're more than welcome to walk around and take pictures and videos of all of, everything that's on the walls and everything. They encourage that too.
Then there's also the garden room, and that's a kind of a bigger, like, dining area looking room, but it's inspired by the Enchanted Forest, which surrounds Beast's castle. A lot of, like, green,
very green
decorations and everything in that room.
Yeah. And then you have the bar area, which is the area that you see when you're walking by, like if you're on the outside of the bar. And that's what we always seen and would always look in before we could actually start going, because it was always a time issue. We were always coming through there when it wasn't even open. But the bar area is sort of like at the heart. So it's like at the beginning area. And it has that beautiful yellow chandelier. And that is, of course, inspired by the Belle's golden gown.
And then the last area is like an outdoor patio area. It's got a good view of the resort as well as the Seven Seas Lagoon, and then also you can see the Polynesian from there. So it's just like the outside of the bar.
And they have a couple of seats on the veranda there that you can see the fireworks from, but it's not all of them. It's just a couple spots, and I'm not really for sure where those spots are. And it's moderately priced. I mean, it's not anything that's outrageous, but it's moderately priced.
I'll talk about that.
Okay. And the last thing I want to mention is Disneyland doesn't have an Enchanted Rose Lounge. So I don't know about any of the other resorts, around the world, but I know that it's exclusive here, of course, in America to just Disney World.
Nice. So let's talk about what we're actually going to be eating and drinking and the price and all that stuff. So, from a price perspective, this is going to be it's a little bit more expensive than some of the other lounges and bars around the area, but I think for good reason. Now, like we said, at 3:30 when it opens, they do have a couple of small plates. You can get beef jerky, house-made beef jerky, some olives, or some mixed nuts, which are $8 to $10.
So they're not on the house like they were with Misner's.
Okay. No, you have to pay for those. Okay. But at 5, that's when you can get charcuterie board, you can get like a cheese selection, you can get croquettes, seasonal flatbread, smoked trout and crab dip, caviar, which is $120, house-made truffle fries, and hummus.
That's where it's at.
Now, you heard all that. I'm just going to point out the house-made truffle fries. If you are going to get one snack at this place, house-made truffle fries is where it's at. They are $14.50. It's
shareable. You can share it between 2 people for sure.
I mean, now listen, the truffle fries, the Parmesan on that is aged for 18 months. 18-month aged Parmesan. And that garlic aioli, is that how you say it?
Yeah, it is.
I mean, I kid you not.
I was sniffing aioli salt this morning. That's how much I
kid
love
you not.
it.
This should be on everybody's like top 10 snack list to try at least once. Try it at least once, but it's the best. I highly recommend that.
Yes, absolutely. So
now,
good.
I do remember because when I was doing a little research, yes, I've done a little research.
Okay, my boy's coming along so good.
They had some sliders at one point.
Okay.
The first time we went, I had the short rib sliders.
Okay.
And they were awesome.
Okay.
So good. They are not on the menu anymore.
I wonder why. I'm
not for sure. Now, you did point out that the food the Enchanted Rose gets comes from the Citricos. Now, I think those sliders are still on the menu at Citricos.
Oh, okay, gotcha.
So, I wonder if you could order that and they would make like a special.
Right.
Maybe. I don't know. Either way, those short rib sliders are really good.
Places at Disney, some things just aren't on the menu, and you just ask them and they'll do it. You know what I mean?
And you can do that a lot at Polynesian.
Yeah.
But that's the food, and I think for the amount of fries and how good that are, $14 to share I think that's good.
Do they have a mac and cheese?
Now, there was not, I feel like they used to have a mac and cheese as well.
To have one. I feel like I didn't know that they didn't have any more, but it was very, very good too.
I mean, if you want to step up your game and get the $120 caviar, go for it.
I don't want caviar ever, so I'm good.
So let's head to the drinks.
Oh,
now,
that's where we...
These drinks, your cocktails are going to range from $17 to $30.
Okay.
This is probably a place I would recommend grabbing your snack and then grabbing like one good cocktail and then kind of moving on. You're probably going to be heading to another resort. Maybe you're in between dinner. You don't want to get too full. These are some of my favorite cocktails because of the ingredients.
I just want that seasonal old fashioned.
Let's point out, I'm going to go through a quick run of, they've got pretty much any type of drink you would want. If you like a rum drink, they have that. It uses Appleton Estate rum. There's a lavender fog, which is a gin drink. There is a tequila drink. There's a margarita. There's a rye drink called the Rye Knot. I'm going to point out some of those.
I've had that too. Mm-hmm.
There's the featured cocktails, and then there's the grand cocktails. The grand cocktails are more of their year-round, their normal stuff. So their Manhattan, which is a bourbon cocktail, is $27.50.
Okay.
But I'm going to point out a few things. It uses Whistle Pig 10-year straight rye whiskey in this. Now, that is a $90 bottle of whiskey.
Oh, wow.
Their old-fashioned uses Woodford Reserve, which is a little bit more expensive, but kind of on the same level of like Knob Creek. If you go to some of the other lounges and bars, most of the time you'll see like Knob Creek used in the ingredients. Knob Creek is a very like, $30 to $50 range bottle.
Right.
People like to drink it neat. They also like to put it in cocktails. They are using like $90 to $100 bottles of whiskey.
So it's a little more high end.
Yes. The Rye Knot, like you said, it also uses the 10-year rye. That's one of our favorites. It's got cinnamon, pineapple, lemon. It's $26.
So
I mean, it's kind of expensive.
Yeah.
Even the vodka drink uses Grey Goose. Like, that's an expensive vodka.
Okay.
All the ingredients within these cocktails are pretty expensive. And if they are there's no doubt if you want to try it neat, you could probably ask for, hey, I want to try the Whistle Pig neat. On the seasonal old fashioned, which is my favorite. They changed the syrup based on the season. So if it's summer, you may have a summery style syrup. If it's, winter, you're going to have a darker cinnamon style.
Mm-hmm.
And they use Widow Jane 10-year straight bourbon whiskey in that. Another $80 to $100 bottle of whiskey.
I've never heard of that before.
Yeah, it's. I don't have any Widow Jane just because it's usually expensive.
Yeah.
But these cocktails are made with expensive ingredients,
so the prices are going to reflect that.
Yes, the seasonal old fashioned, once again, $27. I mean, like I said, anywhere from $17 to almost $30 is what you're going to get.
And it's so hard for me to just have one because it is really good, but it can be very, very expensive.
Yes, but all of these cocktails are very, very good. Like, I've even had the gin, the London Fog, I believe it's called, the Lavender Fog. I'm not a gin drinker, but this was good.
Yeah.
And having a really nice cocktail in a very like quiet, classy place that still kind of feels Disney, but it's not like over Disneyed.
Right.
Is really nice. It's a really good break in between like your Trader Sam's or like your character dining or something like that. And that's what I appreciate about the Enchanted Rose the most is the quality of the cocktails and the ingredients and just taking a break from like the loudness of Disney and having good drinks. So
I will say something to that though. We only go when it's quiet. We are not there. We have never been there on a Friday night at 9:00.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Because it stays open until 10, I think.
11.
10 or 11.
Yeah. So I'm sure it can get rowdy.
I'm sure it can.
But we are never there during the rowdy times. We are always there right when it opens, or like around 5, 6-ish, and it's always been quiet. It's been full, but never just wild.
Kids are allowed in this.
They are allowed, but we've never been there when there's been a lot of kids. So your experience may be completely different. Someone may have went when it's really loud and rowdy, and you've had some people drinking maybe one too many expensive drinks, but it's always been very quiet for us, which is why we have such good fond memories of it.
Yes. So yes, I recommend spending a little extra money on a good quality cocktail and having it in the quiet hours.
Yeah.
And it's just a good little break to chill and have. You can't get these cocktails anywhere else. These are not just your typical bourbon and cokes or your smoked turkey, which is, a Disney cocktail that's featured everywhere. It's very unique and very good.
So, how about this? I got some interesting facts about the movie that I wanted to throw in.
Okay.
To sort of...
Is this the game?
To team this in. No, this is not the game. This is just some interesting facts that I thought was neat. Do you know that Mrs. Potts was originally going to be named Mrs. Chamomile?
What?
Yeah. Because... the reason they chose Mrs. Potts, they originally wanted to find the most soothing possible association,
Chamomile?
Right? So they came up with Mrs. Chamomile. However, nobody could pronounce it, so then they just changed it to Mrs. Potts.
Oh, okay.
The Beast doesn't have a real name, although fans think so. And I thought this is interesting because we watched a video the other day about how someone was complaining about... Remember, she was
Prince
like, I'm
Adam.
just not going to call him that.
Yeah.
So that isn't true. This was the producer. And he said, as filmmakers, we never named him because there was never going to be a sequel when he turns back to the Beast. Turns back into the Beast. So a lot of fans came up with Adam, but we didn't name him that. To us, he's not Adam. Had we named him, we would have named him a French name because the fairy tale takes place in France. So, but if he's Adam to you, he can stay Adam.
Why Adam? Who
I don't
decided
know. Who came up with that? Yes, I have no idea. And the original Beauty and the Beast, because this was based off of a story, I think from like the 1700s, right? She did suffer from Stockholm syndrome. Yeah, because she developed feelings for the Beast under duress. He was alone, unsupported, and rather through like genuine connection. So she fell in love with him because of all of those things rather than really falling in love with him. But the people, they altered the story
to have
it come out different.
Felt bad for me.
Yeah, exactly.
You heard about me.
But you weren't holding me captive. There was no duress.
You just heard how lonely I was.
Okay, so are you ready for a game? I have come up with a fun game. I really wish
I had a $27 old fashioned.
Oh, me too.
While I was doing this
Maybe
game.
You can make us one.
I really want to be back at Enchanted Rose. I'm counting down the days to our next trip,
which is 59.
Well, when this comes out, it will be 54, maybe.
Okay, I'm so excited.
Something like that. Till I get my truffle fries.
Okay, so we are going to play Belle's Boozy Banquet.
Oh, Belle's Boozy Banquet.
Okay, so this game is based on all of the characters, all of his staff who were turned into household objects, right?
Yes.
Okay, so
Luminaire.
Oh, well, speaking of, what drink would keep Lumiere's, am I saying that right? Lumiere?
Yeah.
Flame burning all night? Would it be A, a flaming Sambuca, a B, French 75, C, sparkling champagne, or a D, hot toddy?
Well,
what drink would keep his flame burning all night?
A hot toddy would normally use some kind of like rye or a low-proof bourbon. I don't think that's going to flame all night. What was the other ones?
A flaming Sambuca.
A flaming Sambuca? I mean...
a French 75 or sparkling champagne.
I don't think sparkling champagne is going to burn all night. I'm trying to think of the actual chemicals of this. I don't even know what a flaming sambuca is. There's obviously a flame on it, but I doubt it's going to burn all night. French 75.
Flaming sambuca.
Why do I think too much into these stupid questions?
He would want something with a literal flame.
I know, but I was thinking of the alcohol in it that, if there's something really high proof or like something it would burn.
Well, let's see if you can get this one. What drink would keep Cogsworth ticking right on time? An espresso martini, scotch on the rocks, whiskey sour, or a gin and tonic?
An espresso. That doesn't have any alcohol in it.
A scotch on the rocks, because you know who Cogsworth is. He's old-fashioned. He's precise. So a classic drink seems fitting.
And it's going to give him, he's already old, he's going to be buzzed, and he's not going to know how to tell time. At least espresso would keep him awake. See, that's I think that's wrong.
Okay.
And scotch on the rocks, that's just going to taste like water.
Yeah, but he's a classy old man. He's going to want scotch on the rocks instead of an espresso martini.
If he's doing his job, he's drinking on the job.
He's always doing his job.
Okay, exactly.
Always doing his job.
He's got to stay awake to tell time 24/7.
Well, okay. If Mrs. Potts assessed a little extra to her tea, if she added, a little extra to her tea, what would it be? Mrs. Potts.
Okay.
Hot buttered rum, Irish coffee, tea-infused vodka, or spiked chai latte.
Tea?
Yeah, she's going to add a little something extra to her tea.
Is she wanting her tea to still taste like kind of a tea drink? I mean, I would say the vodka. I give up.
Spiced chai latte, because it's warm and comforting, just like her.
Yeah, but the latte is going to overpower the tea.
She doesn't care. She wants to get buzzed. She's having to deal with Chip all night long.
What?
He's aggravated the shit out of her.
Spiced latte?
Spiked.
I thought you said spiced.
Spiked. Did I say spiced?
I thought you said a spiced chai latte.
I said spiked, but it might have sounded like spiced.
What is she spiking it with then?
It's just spiked.
Who wrote these questions?
One last one. If Enchanted Rose had a drink of choice, what would it be? Rosé champagne.
Okay.
Rosé wine.
Uh-huh.
Let me see what I got written down here. Hibiscus martini, or a pink gin and tonic.
If the actual Rose could talk and drink.
Right. Rose champagne, rosé wine.
Well, no, either one. She ain't want to drink herself. What was the last one?
Hibiscus martini or a pink gin and tonic.
See, a gin and tonic is going to give her like a little bit of a piney, I'm going with the third one.
You're wrong.
What in the world?
Rose champagne, because it captures the enchanting, timeless quality of the magical rose.
I hate this game.
Okay, so now I have a bonus question, okay? And this is just your opinion. And I'm going to tell you what my opinion is, and then you tell me what's yours. What would the drink be for the beast? Before he became the beast, when he was just the prince, and then after he became the beast.
Okay.
So I said a glass of red wine before when he was a prince, okay? And a neat pour of George T. Stagg when he's a beast.
Dang. That's a good beast answer. I would say he's just drinking like a seltzer before he became the beast. He's just lonely in there.
No, but he was the prince. He was so high on himself.
He's probably a jerk.
He was.
Yeah, he's drinking like a Miller Lite.
No, he's drinking
and taking
like the
shots
fanciest,
of Fireball.
He's drinking the fanciest red wine he can.
That's what they wanted.
He's royalty.
He goes to his room and he just starts drinking Fireball.
So what is he drinking after?
After George T. Stagg is amazing.
Okay.
I don't know if I can top that answer.
I just looked up the highest proof.
Well, that's not the highest proof.
Well, I looked up the highest proof, and that's what it said.
The highest proof. You just typed in highest proof bourbon.
That a beast would drink.
That a beast would you. That's a perfect answer. That's a very expensive bottle that's hard to get, and only royalty usually can get it anyway. I would agree with that. I would also say I mean, he's pretty grumpy most of the time.
Yeah, he is.
I think he's just...
Like, is he drinking bad bourbon?
He's drinking too much Jack Daniels.
Oh, okay. So we're just going opposite directions on that one.
Once Belle gets in the picture and he kind of chills out, he's like, you know what? I probably need to go into my
the vault
and get the good stuff. So I would say he starts out just slinging back some Jack Daniels, maybe maybe some Jim Beam, and then he eventually realizes I should probably just start sipping on some of this George C. Stagg.
He puts down his high noon.
Yeah, his high noons and his Fireball.
Okay, that's all I got. You got anything else?
No. I would say
can't wait to go and eat some.
Check it out.
Fries.
I guess I would say kids or no kids, either. If your kids are in a bad mood and they don't want to sit still and be quiet, don't take them. Otherwise, go for it.
Yeah.
That's the show.
Okay.
If you want to follow
Thanks for
us.
coming.
Yeah. If you want to follow us, you can follow the show. It's a Small Disney Podcast on Instagram. You can follow me at Whiskey Mutant. You can follow April at April. Nope.
At April. That's it. Nope, you're good. Go look for that.
You can follow April at Smith April 859. You can listen to the show on Apple, Spotify. I'm sure that's where you're at right now. Or if you like to listen on YouTube, the audio versions are over on YouTube. And we'll be back next time. Until then, I'm
Bye.
Eric.
I'm April. Bye.
Okay. It's a Small Disney Podcast.